But in the meantime, let's open some packs. So the codes are only for the new players, apparently. Yeah, I think it's intended to be onboarding stuff. So if you're watching this and you got this far somehow, me rambling, and you want codes in the description of the video, and obviously exclamation point codes on the stream. But if you're an existing player, get wrecked, nerd. I don't know. Like, I can't help you there. Ooh, this is new. Is this going to be, like, are they hiding the rares, or is this the foils? I guess it's rarity, and those are epics. Fair enough. This is a common thing. Like, Hearthstone, I think, started this. Those are epic or legendary. Yeah, that makes sense. Reanimate. So, I'll be honest, I hate opening packs, but, so I would much prefer to have, like, an open all button, but I know people do like it. I should probably act more excited. We'll do that for the City of the Gods packs. Because those things I haven't seen, so, like, we have seen most of these. I don't know how close I am to a full set of the base set. I'm actually probably pretty far, to be honest. But we'll see. Whoa. Damn it, I slapped the mic, my bad. That probably didn't... That one, yeah, I'll get some comments about that one. Anyway. Alright, here we are. We have 24 City of the Gods packs, the new expansion for Cards and Castles 2. Let's see what we crack open in these. I haven't looked at this set really at all besides my preview card, so all of this is going to be new to me. We got Synchronized Strike, we got a modal card here, Uncover, a 2-cost. This actually seems pretty good. A 2-cost Contraband. Possibly? Maybe this isn't great. Maybe this isn't great. Shield Maiden, Guardian Warcry, draw a lightning spell. Cost. All right, I like that. I like that. Caltrops. When your opponent tries to move a unit, it takes the... Ooh, okay. This one is going to be obnoxious. It's also an item, so that adds to the item pool, which, depending on your perspective in the moment, could be good or bad. But this seems like it's going to be incredibly irritating. This is going to kill so many things. Yeah, there's a chance that it won't kill what you want, but in a control build, it's like, all right, this is my early game removal. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is dies. So anytime we're playing green, move the peasants first. Got to keep that in mind. Give exactly 2 units or draw 2 units and give them +1 attack. Interesting. All right, what do we got? Rat Catcher. Last wheel, shuffle 2 rats into your deck. So more rat synergy. Give a friendly unit +3/+3 and Guardian, but it dies on your next turn. All right, that seems... like, that's a regular effect. Another deal at the docks. Avalanche Trap. When an enemy unit is played, frostbite it, and it takes 1 damage. Interesting. More Caltrops. It's a frost card, notably. Magic Stopwatch. Trap. When an enemy unit tries to attack, send it 2 turns into the... What? Okay, has anybody played this card? Do we know how this actually functions? Like, does this cause enters play effects to trigger again? Or something like that? You played against it, okay. Does it put it back in the identical location? Presumably, yes. Like, does it do anything else weird other than it, like, phases out of existence? Presumably, it doesn't trigger... I don't think any of the cards... I don't know, I'd have to double check, but, like... I assume most cards are worded when this dies, not when this leaves play. Because technically this would be leaving play and would cause the thing to happen if that were the case. But they could also code it otherwise. It does. I won a game with Kraken because my opponent played... Wait, what? It trigger... So you're saying, the Elusive, that it triggers the when played effects? I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like this feels like it's going to, I don't know. 2 turns is a long time, but this feels like you're going to, you played yourself is what's going to happen. Wait, Kraken is when this enters the battlefield. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like when it enters play. I'm confused. I don't know. This thing is going to be so weird. This thing is going to be so weird. Frozen Warrior. So I'm going to random 5-cost unit and frostbite it. I was really hoping this would be a blue dinosaur card because there's a dino in the art, but... Crystalline Entity. It's a 3/3 for 3 Guardian. Cannot be the target of spells or abilities. Aggro probably loves this. Aggro probably loves this card. Am I crazy here? Defective Flame... Alright, this is some Looney Tunes ass art, and I am here for it. This is actually fantastic. I love this. Deal 4 damage to a unit and 2 to your castle. Sanctify 1. Don't damage. What is Sanctify? What does Sanctify mean? I can't see the keyword here. I don't know what that keyword means. I'm assuming it's like pay 1 more. This seems like pretty decent removal. 4 is probably a pretty strong breakpoint. I'm trying to think. 4 seems like a good breakpoint. Upgrade it in your hand? But how do you upgrade it? By paying 1? Like, does your opponent... I assume your opponent then knows you paid the 1. Okay. Spy Master. 4/4 Warcry game. +2/+2 if you view the enemy hand or deck this game. That seems like not... How many cards let you do that? I don't think there are any that I can think of that let you look at the deck, but presumably there are. There's a couple that let you see the hand. Okay, Sanctify confused me. You have to drag the card to your deck and pay. Does it go back in the deck? Like, does it get shuffled back in, or are you saying that's just, like, physically how you interact with the UI to do it? Rune of Thunder. 10 cost Ritual. Also a keyword I don't know. Deal 10 damage, split randomly among all enemies, and then summon a 5/5 Lightning Elemental. Stays in your hand. Okay, for Sanctify. 10 damage randomly among all enemies. Okay, so this is interesting because depending on how Ritual works, this is like a better... Well, it's not better. It's like a side-graded Dragon's Breath or whatever the red card is that's like deal 8 to something and spillover goes randomly. The reason it's side-graded is because this doesn't let you say, hey, kill that thing for sure. But it instead gives you a 5/5 left over and has the chance, and you know, you could clear out the board so that it essentially hits it. But the problem is because it's randomly enemies, you could end up doing 1 to the thing and 9 to them, which may not be bad, but also could be awful. There's still only Dracula that changes the castle so far. I'm torn between wanting that to be a unique effect forever and then wanting 1 for each faction. All right, we got some more Last Stands. Canonical Conference. Both players draw a card. Okay, so I won't digress too much. But these sort of cards have a tendency to be broken in ways that they really shouldn't be. I know this card seems terrible, and it probably is. But the time that it will be good is in a really broken combo deck. Good for Mill? No. Stop. Get out of here. Get some help. No, but seriously, like in other games I played, any of these communal draw things are either, you know, Mimi multiplayer cards, Mimi Mill cards, to Steven's point, or they are used explicitly in broken combos. So I would much rather these cards just literally never exist, to be honest. But anyway... Northwood Mender. It's a 2/3, since I know I'm blocking some of it. 2/3 for 2, Warcry, heal an ally for 2, and Sanctify, heal again. This actually seems not bad. It's probably pretty good for limited, right? Possibly a heal 4. A reasonable body. Seems alright. Delicious Acorn. Summon 2 Berserk Squirrels. Sanctify 3, summon 2 more. That's got to just be a limited card, right? I highly doubt this has any constructed playability. I don't know. Maybe there's something that interacts with Sanctify. 3 feels like a lot for 4 1/1s. Even though it's 6 split across 2 turns, it's still 6. I mean, I guess you could do it in 1 turn, but like you get the point. There's a building for Pirates where the first card you play each turn costs 1 less and applies to both players. That's different. Although it probably could get used in the same sort of thing where it ends up being in a busted combo. But the difference there is like, this is just a cycle. you can build your deck to take advantage of something like that, and your opponent probably can as well, but the goal with a build around for that is that you can do it better than they can. For something as generic as cost, that's probably not true, as in they're just gonna play faster and like there's no way to prevent them, as opposed to being every one of your pirate cards costs one less. Then okay, you're building your deck that way, and they may just literally be unable to take advantage of it, that sort of thing. All right, Synchronized Strike. Lizard Man, I love it already. Generate an Elusive, a 3/4 for 3. What's the cheap? I guess we have like a 2 or 1 cost Elusive. I was gonna say this is kind of cheap. I feel like this is not gonna be good, but I kind of like this. Last Stand Vengeance. 2 cost, deal 1 damage to a unit. If your castle is 5 or less health, destroy it instead. I'm not a huge fan of this because the base version of this is kind of bad. And 5 health is like you're in dire straits. I guess maybe this is one of... This had, like, draw a card on it or something, maybe? All for aid. Uncover a unit in your deck and change its cost to 3. This has got to be good, right? Like, this has to have value. You just build your deck such that none of the dudes cost less than 3, or 3 or less. So that you always get a discount, and it's a tutor, pseudo. Like... Or you just wait for the point in time where it's like, okay, I know that there's only Leviathans left in my deck. That sort of thing. Like, this has to be playable, right? The Führer, well, just Führer of Battle. Trap for 2. When a friendly unit would die, it survives with 1 health and gains +2 attack and Berserk. That seems thematic for them. All right. Deal with the Docks, Frozen Warrior. Village Guard. 4 cost, 1/4 Guardian. Summon a copy of this. Alright, so hand buff. This is a build around for hand buff. Because then you're doubling all of the hand buffs. Northwood Seer. 2 cost, 2/3. Gains +3/+3 whenever you play a unit that costs 7 or more. I actually kind of like this. I'd have to see the 7s, because isn't the vines, like the vines that when they die, that the first time they come back, they cost 6, don't they? The one time you want the card to cost more, right? Alright, Lizard Man, Swift Strikes, draw a card. If you play it this turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Kind of like reverse kicker, because you pay the kicker first. Close the gates. A neutral trap? Is this neutral, or is this... No, this is Crusader, I think. If your castle is attacked, it gains +3 health. That seems not great. Wood Knight. 3/3 for 2 with Regenerate. Inert. Awakens when you heal something. In the appropriate deck, this feels like this should be trivial to activate, right? I assume that a heal for 0 does not count. Like, you can't just play a heal card and wake it up. Because if you can't, then this probably doesn't come online until, like, turn 5? Without some serious effort. And then that assumes that you're also, like, you're playing some probably pretty bad heal cards. So maybe this isn't great, because by the time this comes online, it's just going to be, like, a 3/3 dork. And you kind of don't care. Little Witch. 3 costs, 3/2. Whenever you play a spell, good lord, summon a random 1 cost. This has to be good, right? If this goes off even once, like regen is heal. Yeah, but like this, while it's inert, it's not going to regenerate. I'm saying, like, if you play a random, whatever the random 1 cost heal 5 thing is. Not that you would play it, but like, let's say you did. And you played it on your castle that hasn't taken any damage. That would not activate it, I think. But Little Witch has to be good, right? Like, this seems like it's too easy to get value out of this. Admittedly, the 1 costs are not going to be thrilling, but like just generating bodies is good. I mean, for other cards with the regen, that's fair. That's fair. Last stand, Icy Expedition. Draw a card. If you're holding a Frost unit, draw 1 more. This, I guess I gotta say, like, this seems like pay 2. In a Frost deck, it's 100% of the time going to be pay 2, draw 2. Is that worth it, though? I'd have to see, like, what a Frost list looks like. Land Beyond Time. Shout out to all my Littlefoot fans. I haven't told the story of Chomper's origin in a long time, chat, but summon. It's a 2 cost. Summon 3 2/1 raptors for each player. Yours gain charge. Huh. This Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Gotten that card, but shiny first? Well, aren't you special? This is pretty cool. Is it good? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this is going to get more play outside of a dinosaur deck where it's something that can leverage. Like, whenever you, like, if there's a card, and I can't think of one, that it's like, whenever you summon a minion, deal a damage or something. Because then you could use this as removal, or just go face, or, well, you can't go face right away, but, like, you get the point. I think there's usage for this, I'm just not sure what it is yet. Alright, Defective Flame Cannon, Feral Instinct Trap. When your opponent plays a spell, summon a 3/4 wolf with Berserk. Interesting. Isn't Wolf, like, baseline a 1/4? Close the Gates, Northwood Mender. Little Witch. Zealous Broom. Warcry, discard a card. Alright, this... wait, this is an item? Wait, what? Is this the first item unit? Like, seriously, is this the first item unit? This is actually kind of cool. You could get it, again, it's diluting the item pool, so depending on your opinion, how you want to look at it, that's good or bad. I don't mind the Warcry. I think there are things that care about when you discard to try and build, like, a Madness list, Madness-esque list. Obviously, aggro is probably pretty excited about this, so I think I like this. I like where this could lead. Icy Expedition, Gecko Knight. This guy is adorable. Regenerate and Guardian, but he's a 2/2. This guy seems like doo-doo. This guy seems like doo-doo. I kind of feel like it needed an effect instead of, like, the first time it died, it came back, and it would be like the tail detaches kind of thing, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess the Regenerate kind of fits because the tail will grow back, but whatever. This guy's just going to be too much effort. Warpig. Who loves that song? 1/1/1/2. Warcry, gain +1/+1 if you have a peasant. That's adorable. Kind of funny. Notably no typing, so it doesn't work with any tribal stuff, but like, if this was a beast, maybe. Seems kind of not great. Voodoo Doll. Give a unit -1/-1 for 1. If it has 0 attack, it dies. If it dies, draw a card. I could see this getting played. It's also another item. Notably another item. I like that the items are like these little somewhat relevant effects. You know, I don't like random beyond the card shuffling in card games. I think when Otona said that, it's a very succinct way to put it. So when it's randomly generate an item, it's not great, but I don't mind it because it does add some variance to the gameplay, and most of the time, a lot of these are not going to be like, oh, enormous blowout, because they're just little minor effects. But you can properly use them to generate probably more value than you quote-unquote should have out of them. Hey, Koiri, thank you for that sub. Much appreciated. That reminds me. Let's see if this works. It is not up. It's updating the follower, but not the subscriber. I wonder if it takes a little while to trigger. We're going to leave this up. I do need to fix the ad start thing so that I can get rid of the snooze part that just annoys me that it's there. We'll see how this does. But yes, the latest subscriber is not Luffy, although Luffy did subscribe. Resubscribe with the Prime, my favorite CNC card. I want to say T-Rex, but is it T-Rex? 6 months, by the way. Shout out to Corey. There we go. Now it updated. Much appreciated. Thank you. I want to say it's something like Mordanoth or Norabon. Probably Norabon. I've always, since Warcraft 3, it's not always, but since Warcraft 3, I have a thing for liches. I've always liked the undead, but like the lich Kel'Thuzad in Warcraft 3 really was just like, this is so cool. And now every time I see a lich, I'm like, it's the lich! So I'm going to go with Norabon. We'll go with Norabon. Although, Landshark in its old iteration, honorable mention. It's no longer what it once was, but it will always be that in our hearts. Or something like that. Psymaster. Yo, I don't have... haven't made the new Raphael yet. These are third-party turtles, so I've had Leonardo, but I just got Donatello, and by the way, he comes with a musket. Maybe we'll do a toy review later. But Psymaster, when this is replaced, return it to your hand and deal 1 damage to 2 random enemies. That's got to be playable, right? Like, this has got to be a core component. It's got to be a core component of any replace-centric build. Oh, I missed this. Abandoned Archives. 4 cost, 0-2. I assume this is a building. When your turn ends, draw a card, and this takes 1 damage. Interesting. Can you heal? Yeah, you have to be able to heal the buildings. Is that worth it? Maybe in a heal-centric deck, like, this is playable because you'll have the heals anyway. This is a self-damaging thing, so if your opponent doesn't want to cooperate for somehow, this will force that. Like, you have a way to get the engine rolling. Plus, it's also card draw, so... this feels like it's going to be bad, but maybe there's something. What if we had a Plague Dock as a card in this game and a Phobie and Phobies? I feel like a Plague Dock is not unreasonable. I mean, it shows up in Darkest Dungeon. You can heal Archives. Yeah, it's kind of big. Makes sense. We've seen these. All right, let's see. City, or what am I saying? City. Gift of the Frostlord. I don't know where I saw City. Gift of the Frostlords. Give a friendly minion +3/+3 and Frostbite. There's a lot of things that are frostbiting your own things here. Buildings are also a lot harder to kill now. What makes it harder to kill? Due to, like, the cards? Or, like, what's doing it? Also, why is this thing, like, crapping out? You have to manually refresh the cache on this. That's annoying. Lightning, for example, doesn't hit it. Interesting. Overload. Deal 5 damage to a unit, but your next spell costs 1 more. This has got to be playable, right? The discount now for pay later idea has shown up in other games before. This seems reasonable. Dwarven Earthshaper. Warcry. Uncover a building. Your castle gains its health. Huh. What's the highest health building? I feel like most of them don't have that much health. That being said, I mean, this is certainly unique. It's draw a card, you get to choose it, and it has another benefit. So, like, that seems reasonable. We already talked about these other 3. Black Street Market. Is that, like, the cultist hanging out there? Real tiny with the squid? Or is that just supposed to be squid in a bucket? Each player's first card each turn costs 1 less. Warcry, gain 1 treasure. Okay, so this is the card that somebody was talking about before. This is what somebody was talking about before. I'm not hugely enthusiastic about this. You do get one resource, but like it's too easy for your opponent to leverage this, I think. Like something as generic as, hey, a card costs one less. Like everybody has cards. Let's run out. They also have castles in this game. I don't know if you've noticed. You have both simultaneously cards and castles. I don't know where they got that idea from. It's wild. Move on. All right, hold on. I'm switching scenes back because that thing is annoying me. Just making a note to fix it offline. All right, we got some new stuff here. We did see Shield Maiden. We got Farmer's Pitchfork. Okay, is there a peasant deck? Is there a card? Tell me, chat. You can spoil me. You can spoil me. Is there a card beside your castle, obviously, that lets you generate peasants in this set? Because that would actually be hilarious if like peasants were an archetype. That would be hilarious. Because you got War Pig, you got Farmer's Pitchfork. There is? Yes! Yes! I really want to see this. I hope we open it. We still got 10 packs. All right, come on. Gotta focus. Flame Blast. This guy is doing some Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff going on in here. 4 cost, deal 8 damage to a unit. Sanctify. Split excess damage among enemy units. Okay, I like this. Oh, you did the teaser for that, Elusive? Nice, nice. I like Flame Blast. I like the idea of this because the deck that it goes in could possibly do this. Like if you're playing a red-based control deck, if you need to remove something right now, this is going to remove it. Avatar: The Last Hairbender. Yeah, my man is got the DBZ crossover. He's got the DBZ crossover with the... But anyway, in a control deck, like, it's not unlikely that there'll be a random turn where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to do nothing. All right, bang, sanctify this, and then it's bonkers later. Whereas if you have to use it, you're probably okay with it as just, all right, nuke that guy. And for the most part, it will just straight up kill a thing. So I like this card. Mercenary Assailant. I can't unsee... I know the art is chibi, right? But I can't unsee the helmet going under the nose. And that just seemed... First of all, that seems really uncomfortable. Because if you had a rope on your mustache, trust me, it's just going to pull the hairs out of your mustache. It's going to hurt. If you played another card this turn, deal 1 damage to 2 random enemies. Yeah, sure. This is fine. I like this. All the talk about his helmet. Mana Tower. 6 cost, 0/3. Draw a card each time you play a spell. Really? This one immediately sets up red flags in my mind. If you've played card games before, this should scare the hell out of you. This should scare the hell out of you. Now, as far as I know, there are no ways to shuffle cards back into your deck other than, like, there are things that will generate cards and put them in your deck. So, I guess you can't go infinite, but when people say there's an infinite combo, and I'm not saying there is, but when people say there's an infinite combo in card games, it's generally used colloquially to just mean, I'm going to do an arbitrarily large number of thing and kill you with it. Like, it doesn't have to literally be infinite. There was a recent debate in the Lorcana community. I guess it's not recent, but, like, people were whining about a particular combo because they're like, well, it isn't technically infinite. It's like, that's not the point. Like, the point of the discussion is the loop. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You're just complaining about the language people are using, and it's not meaningfully beneficial. But digression aside, this kind of scares me. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of costly, but if you untap with this, things get scary real fast. That's 4 unknowns. All right, let's see. Devolution. Transform all enemy units into a random one costing 1 less. This, well, I don't want to say this has to be good because you could upgrade something technically, I guess. Especially if it had a Warcry. You know, like you play Wizard, I don't know. Like anything that's your opponent played it to draw cards, uncover cards, that sort of thing. Most of them have terrible bodies. You devolution, they got the cards, and then you turn it into now a reasonable combat body by accident. But this could be relevant. This could be relevant. Especially if they have an ongoing power. Transform is already really annoying. I hate that this card exists. I don't mind Transform. But every game handles it differently. You know, like whether they retain damage, do effects still affect the new thing? Does it become a completely new card? Does it forget, you know, like that sort of stuff. That's one of the big problems with it is like, understandably, even if there was an industry norm, there's no guarantee that any given game is going to follow the industry norm, which is both good and bad because it can be difficult if you play more than one game, right? But I can see the reason for devolution existing. We've already talked about Blackstreet Market. Dwarven Prophet. 4-cost Warcry. Choose a card in your hand whenever your turn begins. Reduce its cost by 1. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I mean, even if you hit something that's like another 4-cost, being able to play said thing for free, you know, even if it isn't for free, just getting a discount and like, it's not like you're getting a 1/1 out of the deal on this. And since it's a Warcry, like there has to be some way to abuse this with purple, right? With replace. Like you play this guy, reduce something or target something to reduce, replace it, play it again, target either the same thing or something else. There's got to be something there, right? Forged in Fire. Uncover an item. Sanctify. Get an extra copy. All right, item decks, sure. That's a bit slow, but it does stack as well. It depends on whether it's ultimately going to come down to the payoff. Like, is the payoff going to be worth it? Like, the ratio of payoff to investment, obviously, like everything else. Potion Seller. Warcry. Uncover a healing contraband. Well, it's more contraband generation. It's also a decent body. It actually requires, notably, like this is something, I don't know if this is a worthwhile metric, but it does require 3 peasants to kill it. It doesn't exactly represent a huge offensive threat, but it will run around the board cleaning up peasants at the very least. And, of course, contraband synergy. Crystalline, Gecko, Caltrops. Rally the town. Summon 3 peasants over your next 3 turns. All right, it's happening, chat. It's happening. Grave Robbery. Use a tombstone to draw a card. If you are holding a pirate, draw 1 more. Okay. I like it. I like the cross-faction synergy. I've been so thirsty today. He's super thirsty. All right, another Dwarven Earthshaper. We saw these. Mirror unit. You just got Helldivers when we liberating? Oh, Luffy. I'll help you power level. Not tonight, but yeah, I can help you out. We need to go spread some managed democracy. Mirror Universe. Summon a copy of each enemy unit. Flip the stats of each copy. Summon a copy of each enemy unit. Flip the stats of each. This is so weird. This is so weird. This is... Okay. I would much rather see stuff like Mirror Universe than Final Flash. And yet, both of them are probably... Maybe not... I was going to say they're around the same level of variance, but they're not. It's that mirror meme. Exactly. That's why I laughed so hard. It's the Spider-Man meme. It's the Spider-Man meme. I love that Cards and Castles does this. It's one of my favorite things. I really enjoy these kind of things. As usual, I read a seed C2 card and go, oh my god, that's OP, then talk myself out of it for 10 minutes until someone uses it against me. Mirror Universe is 100% going to ruin someone's day. Like, they're going to be like, I'm winning this game, and then someone's going to Mirror Universe, and you're going to go, what? And it's going to blow you out. But I think that the difference between this, to me, and Final Flash, aside from the, like, literally random nature of Final Flash, is the level of effort involved in setting up a Mirror Universe has to be exponentially harder and higher than a Final Flash. A Final Flash is just, oops, I made it to 10 gold. This one is, yeah, it's admittedly cheaper, but, like, you are maybe not by definition in a losing board state, but this is, your opponent has to have something worth taking. At worst, though, for 7, let's say they just play a big threatening thing, and, like, that's the only thing on the board. Okay, now you have one too. Hopefully it wasn't threatening because of the Warcry, because I don't think you're going to get it off of this. But either way, like, this is pretty cool. Actually, no, it says summon a copy, so you should get the Warcry, right? Because it actually summons it. So if they play a thing, like a big thing, that, like, Mordanoth, just because it was the first thing that came to mind. The Crusader Dragon. Well, you probably wouldn't want to get a copy of that, but, like, you get the point. Can't imagine the proccing Warcry. Yeah, like, I feel like it's not going to, but the way it's written, it feels like it should. Because it says summon, and Warcry, I'm pretty sure, is when you summon this. I don't know if it says when you summon this from hand. If that's the case, then yeah, it won't work. But, like, usually this sort of thing, the devs would not allow the Warcry to activate. So if anybody knows, let me know. Another devolution. More peasants. Chat. Peasants.deck is happening. Little Witch. We got our playset. Well, we had that already. Never mind. Hibernate. Giving you in your hand +3/+3 and shuffle it into your deck. Okay, so we have ways to put things back in the deck. Honestly, the last half of this card is probably going to be more important than the first. Imagine 3/3 presents for 2 gold. Well, remember, this is 3/3 peasants for 3 gold, so. And it's only 1. Unless you're saying you're spoiling another card that hasn't happened yet, or I haven't seen yet. Give a friendly unit +3/+3 and frostbite it. Oh, yeah. All right, we have like a million war pigs. Amplify. The next spell you play this turn casts twice. Okay. So it's Fork. Excuse me. And I know there were other newer iterations of Fork, but this is Fork. It costs 5. I like that they're playing it safer with this, because at 2, Fork was probably too good. I don't know. Unless there's some payoff for hand buff, such as Warcry, deal damage equal to this minion's attack. Hibernate just seems terrible. That's why I was thinking that Hibernate is going to be more important for the shuffle back into deck. The reason is if there is a reason to shuffle things back in the deck. Like, in that combo deck, for example, with Mana Totem, or whatever it was called, where it's whenever you play a spell, draw a card. You probably will burn through your deck very quickly once you hit the loop. So being able to shuffle something back in to either stop or reset the fatigue damage could be important, hypothetically. That was my first thought, because that effect is very unique. The hand buff piece is, yeah, it seems like doo-doo. If you have 10 or less cards, it's a good target for it. When we played the self-mill sea monsters thing, like, yeah, that wasn't unreasonable to do. We burned through the deck fairly quickly, so like, in a dedicated game plan to do it. But is that worth it? You're burning a card for a +3/+3 buff, and then you don't even get to do the thing immediately. You have to hope you draw it on time, which, with less than 10 cards in your deck, is probably a good chance. it feels like it's more work than it's worth. And that's why, like I said, I think it's probably more valuable as just shuffling things in for the sake of shuffling back in if there is a list that really wants that effect for some reason. Crystalline, Gecko, Earthshaper, Northwood Mender. Another Voodoo Doll. All right, Voodoo Doll. That's fair. Mercenary, Lizard Man. Magic Stopwatch. This card, I'm telling you, man, like, this thing is gonna ruin someone's day. I just don't know if it's the person who's playing it or the person who's getting hit with it. Hurricane. Trap. 1 cost. When your castle is attacked, move all enemy units up to 5 spaces in a random direction. Okay, so the first question is this double random, or is this move them 5 spaces if possible, if not possible, move to maximum? Do you know what I mean? Like, so let's say it tries to move them down. It can't move them 5 spaces, because if they're, like, next to the castle. So it'll just move them the maximum. If not possible, move to max. Okay, that makes sense. In one direction. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I really like this. This doesn't seem worth it for a card slot. I mean, it's going to be hilarious that one time it just takes 1 unit and flings it all the way into the Land of Oz. Hey, Luffy gifting that sub. Thank you. Much appreciated. Going out there to the Elusive Nerd. We're getting closer to that 50 sub goal. 50 sub goal. Gotta make sure my suit is all cleaned. Looking nice. Another Psymaster. Nice. All right. Last pack, chat. Let's see what we got. Last pack. Hero of Battle. Northwood Mender. Icy Expedition. Mercenary Assailant. All right, Psymaster. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not bad, chat.